is up, Insomniacs? Midnight Sun 518 here, back with another maintenance video for Sasha, my 2017 Tacoma TRD Pro. So today we're going to be doing an oil change on the rear differential for the Taco, and yeah, should be relatively quick. It's not a very difficult maintenance item per se, but yeah, there's only two bolts that we got to undo in order to take the oil out. We'll clean the drain plug magnet that holds all the little metal shavings and fragments just from driving, you know, the gears rubbing against each other. It collects them so it doesn't continue to cause more damage. So we'll clean that off, and then we'll get some new oil in there and call it a day. So some tools that we're going to be using today, we have ourselves a 24mm deep socket on a 1/2 inch drive, and then we also have our torque wrench. The torque specs kind of vary throughout the differentials and stuff on the car. The rear specifically is supposed to be 36, but I can't read that out on my wrench, so I have it set to 37.5. That'll be fine. And then we also have some 75W90 synthetic gear lubricant. So it's recommended, the lubricant that's already in there is, I think, 75W85, but you can't really find that on the market, so 75W90 will be fine. And then of course we have work wipes. And then up under the truck I have my oil tray. Now, the rear diff skid, as you'll see when you get down there, already has holes set into the skid so that we don't have to worry about taking that off at all to do this oil change. Yeah, so let's get under the... Oh, one last thing. I also bought some random gaskets, metal gaskets for the plugs, and this will be for each of, or both of the diffs, as well as the transfer case, which will be we'll do the oil change for those ones in a different video. So here we are under the truck, and you want to start by first breaking, oh sorry, so this right here is the fill plug, and then up underneath the diff there's literally only one spot right here on the passenger side of the diff. That is the drain plug. There's no other plugs on the bottom. In fact, I'll bring you up underneath here so that you can see what I'm talking about. So that right there is the drain plug up underneath the passenger side of the rear diff. Okay, so you always start by breaking torque on the fill plug, because if you can't fill it, don't drain it. Okay, that was a pain. And so I'm going to do the same thing down underneath here on the drain plug now. Just kind of feel around to make it sit. I'll break torque on this guy. Woo. And a lot of people recommend to wear gloves. I'm going to get dirty anyway, so I really don't care. But we're just kind of get in here and undo the plug for the drain. And any second it's going to start pouring all over my hand. Oh god. All right, it really isn't all that dirty. I thought it was going to be way worse. I'm going to open up and get a little bit of airflow here on the fill plug so that it can do its own thing here. There we go. So there you can see it kind of flowing out there. Not super dirty, which is good. Definitely has a distinct smell though. I don't really know why, it just does. It's the same gear oil that's in each of the other ones. Just interesting. Anyways, I'm going to clean up around the area here for the fill plug, and then I'm actually going to wipe off the fill plug itself too, and then this gasket on here I'll show you. Alright, so you guys can see here's the old gasket that I took off of the fill plug, and then here's the new one that I got out of the kit itself. So they look pretty much equal, but the new one has a little bit of a bow in it, so you can see the difference in thickness from the old one getting flattened down upon tightening. The new one will do the same, which I assume helps with the seal. So we're going to get that gasket thrown on there with the flat part facing the head and the rounded part facing the threads, so that will go in contact with the actual differential case itself. But next, once this oil finally stops draining, we still got a little bit coming out. I'm going to clean up the area and then put the drain plug back in and torque it on. One other thing while that's still draining, so if you look here, you can see kind of a pile of gunk sitting on top of the, this is the drain plug, and that gunk is actually metal shavings and whatnot that have come off of the diff and come out of the diff. So it's pretty gunky. It doesn't look like metal shavings because they're very small, but it does have a slight metallic tinge to it. So we're just gonna get this guy nice and cleaned off, this magnet here, and then of course get the entirety of the plug nice and wiped down and cleaned. And then just like with the fill plug, we'll be replacing the seal on this guy as well. Okay, now that that is done dripping oil all over the place, or all over the place, I mean into the thingamajig, we're gonna get it back on, or the drain plug back on, which I already screwed it in place. And then I'm going to tighten it down by hand a decent amount, and then we'll go pull out that torque wrench and we'll torque it on. And remember, it's 36 foot-pounds. Here we are with the torque wrench. All right, and that's it. So for filling this guy, like I said, we're going to be using a synthetic 75W90 gear oil. So I'm going to fill it until it starts to come undone, or out the top. So I will link all of this down in the description, all the parts and pieces that I used today and where I got them from. The oil you can literally get from any old like auto parts store. It's finally full, and I hate to say it, but I misjudged the amount of gear oil I was going to need. Sorry about the loud truck noises that are all over the place. I live on a busy street. I actually ended up needing about 4.5 pints of gear oil to fill this guy up, which is way more than I thought. So anyways, we're going to get this tightened down. This is the fill plug, and torqued to 36 foot-pounds. So here I am hanging out under car, all sweaty and disgusting because it's like 103 degrees outside. But that was a super quick and easy maintenance item that you can do yourself. In fact, let's go into the car real quick. The differential flush rear, which is literally just the replacement of the oil, was $179.95. Each of these bottles of diff fluid, pretty much the gear oil, is about 15 bucks, right? And I use 4.5. So that's about $70 worth of oil to go into it. And then the gaskets themselves are about 10 bucks on Amazon, maybe if that. So you're literally cutting $100 off of the total price to replace your fluid. So it's cheaper to do it yourself, guys. Anyways, I hope you find this at all informative. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe. We got more maintenance coming up all the time. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll be doing the front diff as well as the transfer case in an upcoming episode. So, catch you guys on the next go around. Midnight sign out.